What's the call, John? Where we at? There it goes. Welcome to the Focus TV. We got Octavia Wyatt here. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Cardell's at ESA. Got Mystics Aces tonight. We'll hear from him a little bit later. All right, so this is season 5, episode 27. As we told you guys last week, the NBA playoffs are moving right along. They have not saved any bit of drama, at the least. As every day goes by, there's somebody, in the words of Octavia, whining about something. So before we get to who's whining about what, I'm going to touch on some of that in rapid fire. We will begin just overall. Let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. Let you guys know where all the series are at. Right now, make it real easy on you guys, right? So Philly, Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Phoenix, and Dallas are all tied at 2 games apiece. The only team that's not at 2-2 is Golden State, who stole a game they had no business stealing Monday night to go up 3-1. When I say they had no business, I literally mean no business at all. That said, Octavia, I want to hear from you, your thoughts on, where the postseason brings us from last week.
Ooh, I will say this. From last week, a lot has changed. I was really thinking, with the Philly and Miami series, that Miami was going to be in full control. But the emergence of of course, Joel Embiid coming back from his injury, playing well. You can see he's getting better every game. With his conditioning, and then with the face mask, and then you forget with all of that, you forget he has a ligament torn in his thumb. So to see him coming back, and you can see each game since he's come back, he's ramped it up from game 3 to game 4, and now here in game 5, it's in the second quarter, 31-22, and the Heat is currently winning. But it was like we saw a ghost. James Harden decided to reemerge as the James Harden of the past years. Before he came from Houston, honestly. I mean, granted, he was still a great player when he was in Brooklyn, but we haven't seen the James Harden of the Houston days. I was listening to, I forget what show it was, and they said he hasn't been the same since he put that extra weight on and tried to get out of Houston. And it's coming back to bite him a little bit. But to see him, actually hit a step back 3 in these last couple of games was a little bit crazy. They said he had scored over 20 points in over, I think they said 12 games into this past game, and he's doing decent so far tonight. I gotta look at the box score to see how much he scored so far. But he's had a good beginning to the game. Right now he is, gosh, why can't I read? He's at 7 points, 1 for 1 on free throws. He's 3 for 6 from his field goals. So he's starting off well. On the other side, I mean, I just think Miami honestly just has to hit some shots. They've been in the games, and I mean, there were games that they could have really won, but Tyler Hero's not having a good offensive output with his shooting, and Duncan Robinson hadn't hit the floor in the entire series until tonight. Of course, they were looking at his defensive liability, but his shooting has to wait for something, as much money as they paid him recently. So he cannot be hiding on the bench. I'm sorry, you're going to have to lace your Nikes up and do something, because there is no way that we paying you 90 plus million. You're just going to sit on the bench because you can't play defense. No. So they finally got him in the games tonight. We'll see how that goes. But it's become a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I mean, to be completely honest. Which I kind of had a feeling if Embiid got back in the flow of things. I'm not sure. Everybody was like, okay, James Harden is back. He's back. I got to see it consistently. And they've honestly got a lot of help from the others. Danny Green has finally come along. Tyrese Maxey has been up and down, but when he's up, he is good. There is nothing going wrong with that. And Tobias Harris, if you want to consider him the fourth option, I mean, he's scoring 20 plus. So they're getting it from everywhere. It's just to see if Miami's defense is going to be able to hold them, if Miami's going to be able to score. Memphis and Golden State. Like you said, I don't know how Golden State squeaked that out because honestly, I didn't think that Memphis. I wouldn't say I didn't think they had a chance, but I really thought Golden State would win the game on Monday without Ja playing. But again, as we've talked about all year, that Memphis is used to playing without Ja, and it's kind of crazy. But they're so used to playing without Ja that Tyus Jones steps into the starting lineup without Morant playing, and I mean, they still get after it, they still do what they need to do, and they were well in control of this game. I've never seen Golden State shoot as bad as they did. Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. I mean, I think they were 0 for 16 at one point from 3-pointers, and that's just like unheard of. But again, the one thing that I thought would do Memphis in this series is just leadership and the fact that Golden State has been there before. It's hard to put Golden State away. You can't, if you don't step on their neck and make sure that their heart's not breathing no more, not beating anymore, it's a chance that you're not going to walk out there with the win. And that's what happened. It's sad to hear that Ja Morant is probably doubtful for the rest of the series or rest of the playoffs, whichever happens. At this point, they're down 3-1, and it's not looking too good regardless. But it's sad to see, the whole broke the code situation that's going on in this series. This is getting a little ridiculous. It is a chippy series, don't get me wrong. I mean, I still personally don't think the Draymond situation was that egregious. I do think that it did warrant a flagrant. I don't think he should have been ejected. Looking at it multiple times that I looked at it, to me, it doesn't look like he's actively trying to pull him down. It looks like his fingers got caught in his jersey. Because if he was actively trying to pull somebody down, why would he try to catch him? That's just my thought. On the other side of it, Dylan Brooks, I mean, his was kind of, although I don't think his was malicious as well, it was just textbook of what a flagrant 2 is. Wind up impact unnecessary. And it unfortunately, fractured Gary Payton II's elbow. And that sucks for him, especially, finally finding a home with Golden State after his years in the G League. So it's unfortunate. And then the whole situation with Jordan Poole and Ja Morant, I mean, if you look at it in slow motion, of course you're going to make up things that it could possibly be. I don't think it was dirty at all. I don't think he necessarily went to try to pull his knee. He's looking for the ball. Like, it is what it is. But it sucks because Ja has a history of knee issues, and that, now it's being reported that he has a bone bruise and he's going to be doubtful for the rest of the series. So I expect Golden State to wrap this up pretty soon. But you can never sleep on Memphis. I mean, they're going back to Memphis again. So, I mean, I don't count them out completely. But if Golden State was able to win Monday, shooting as abysmal as they did, if they get their shots together, it should be no contest. Phoenix and Dallas. I mean, I've never seen Chris Paul play this bad. I just never seen it. The funny thing they said is that he turned 37 and now all of a sudden he's playing like a 37-year-old. He's been playing like a 27-year-old for the past 10 years, but it's like now all of a sudden, I mean, it's just uncharacteristic of him. The turnovers, the fouling out. I think they said he's only fouled out in a playoff game 4 times in his entire career. I think he said he's never had 4 fouls in the first half ever in his entire career. It's wild. But I mean, Dallas is shooting well. That's what's helping them. As much as Luka is doing Luka things, Maxi Kleber is doing well. Is shooting the ball well. Dorian Finney had a great game in their last game, just shooting the lights out. I mean, it's crazy. So every single night, it seems like for them, they have somebody that's shooting well for them, at least in the last 2 games, and it's helping take a lot of pressure off of Luka. It's kind of like I'd rather Luka just do everything and let me stop the rest of y'all from shooting, because any given night it's either Kleber, it's Spencer Dinwiddie, it's Dorian Finney, it's Jalen Brunson, it can be any of them. So it's hard for them to get together. But I just think Phoenix needs to buckle down and go back to what they've been doing all year. They've been dominated inside with Ayton, and Devin Booker has been doing his thing. It's kind of tough for Chris Paul, granted he's 37, to carry them this entire time. He's got these young guns there that are supposed to be helping him along the way as well. And I mean, DeAndre Ayton, you want the money, it's time for you to go in there and prove it night after night. I mean, he's had some great games this series, but I think he kind of goes away from what he's good at times. I still feel like a lot of times with bigger players nowadays, they're so infatuated with the outside shot and the theatrics of everything. Like, you're bigger than 99.9% of them out there. Go down on the box. He has a bevy of down of post moves, and just do what you need to do and get open. As long as the others, Cam Johnson, Cam Payne, Mikal Bridges, hit their open shots. And even Jay Crowder, I mean, he's had decent games where he's hit some open shots as well, but he needs the others to come along with them. It's going to be a good game. It's really going to come down to the defense and who's going to be able to stop each other from scoring. So I'm interested to see how that goes on later tonight. This is my favorite series, the Milwaukee series and the Boston series. Man, this series is good. I mean, it is good. This game yesterday, I almost threw my phone. I almost turned the channel. I was like, what is going on? I mean, I know they can't say it, so I'm gonna say it for them. The refs is working overtime in this series. Woo! I ain't never seen the refs work so hard. But I mean, Giannis is doing like Giannis things. Like, Giannis is not unheard of because we've seen it with him now, but Giannis is unbothered, and it's worse, especially in this past game, without them having Robert Williams and then all of the foul trouble that Grant Williams and Al Horford and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were in this last game. It's tough on them. Grant Williams plays the best defense on Giannis, so it was definitely tough when he got those 4 fouls. And I don't even think he played in the whole fourth quarter because of his defense, but they were just able to hold Giannis at bay. I mean, honestly, Giannis needs some more help on the offensive end. I think that if he got more help on the offensive end, it would be a different situation right now. You can see how much they're really missing Chris Middleton in this situation, as well as defensively that they're playing. They need somebody to come along offensively with him. Wes Matthews is playing great defense. Drew Holiday is playing great defense like we know he always does. But in those games where they won, Drew Holiday had a decent scoring night, so I don't know if he needs to shoot more, because I think in that game they said he shot like 31 times. Him and Giannis shot like 31 times apiece. Maybe he needs the high volume in order to help as far as on the offensive side, but he needs help on that side. The other side, Boston just got to hit shots. They're giving them all of the offensive, open 3-pointer shots that they can ever imagine. And they're just not hitting them. It wasn't until the fourth quarter I really feel like anybody really got it going. Tatum was off in the first half, but he was aggressive and he didn't give up. And some of those shots he hit at the end of the game too was just circus shots. I mean, the one where he was basically parallel to the floor and still flipped it up and off the backboard was ridiculous. I don't know if you want to blame this loss for the Bucks on Giannis. I mean, Giannis decided to semi-dunk on Al Horford, because I don't really think Al Horford was like jumped at this point. Like, I think he was kind of like letting him do what he needed to do. But Giannis feeling himself as he should. It's playoffs, and it is what it is. I've never seen Al, and a lot of people are saying I've never seen Al Horford so demonstrative. It was like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. Oh, okay. And I mean, Al Horford with a playoff career high 30 points. I mean, Jason Tatum had 30 points, and it was just a great game. This is a great series. And now it's back to a 3-game series with them being tied 2-2, going back to Boston. So I'm looking forward to that game as well.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I definitely think Al Horford, that Cam Newton meme was essentially, I bet. Yeah, Al Horford replaced that. That's the 2022.
I was like 35 years old, and he back out there.
Al legit was just like, all right. But and it was funny because I was, for whatever reason, his sister tweets is on my timeline.
Oh, wow.
So I saw that tweet like as it was happening, and I was like, oh, let's see what happens there. Oh, Al, okay. So you do get angry. Huh.
As a
Interesting.
sister as a sister, I know those things too. I didn't see the tweet until, of course, it was on like Bleacher Report and stuff like that. But like, yeah, you know when your brother is mad,
Yeah,
especially if she's his younger sister. I'm not
yeah.
sure if that's what
I'm
it
not
is.
sure, but she was just
But
like,
if she's his younger
my
sister,
man was
like we
like
know
board
how to
game
annoy
mad.
our older brothers. So she
Yeah.
probably like, oh yeah, I seen that look before he real mad.
That's essentially what she tweeted. It was like, yeah, I know that look. It's
Yeah.
about to get real. But yeah, I'll start right there then. Those two teams are beating the you know what out of each other, right? We just call it what it is. I know both teams whining about fouls and all this. Man, they just beating on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Last series, Boston got to be the more physical team. Didn't really get hit back. This series, everyone's getting hit.
Yeah.
Al Horford to me has been the biggest difference in this series. Well, if Al Horford's not on this Boston team, I don't know if they're there in this round. I definitely know they're not in this series. He's been huge because dude, he shot 5 or 7 from 3 yesterday when he went off, which means you have to honor him. He shot better from 3 than a bunch of them guards in that game yesterday. So, like, he was huge. What he brings defensively, just as a whole. When you see guys that are quiet go off, it got to get you guys. It gets your team way more amped up. There's somebody who Marcus Smart. He's set to 15. I don't care when he goes off. Like, man, that's just you being you. Where Al, you never hear anything from Al. Then he says something. Yeah. It's you're gonna feel a type of way. You got Philadelphia, Miami. So far, just whoever's been at home been eating. It's been really that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has to eventually win on someone else's court, and it remains to be seen if who's gonna be the first to do that. I don't have an answer for you. I'm not sure at all. I know Miami looks good when they're at home, and then when they get on the road, what happened? Same thing with Philly. The good thing for Philly, you did have one James Harden sighting, as you mentioned. So that was cool to know that he's still there, in there somewhere, floating around. Phoenix and Dallas, man, Dallas is just annoying. Dorian Finney-Smith showing everybody he's worth every freaking penny. And if we look back, he might have been signed for a bargain. That's the epitome of what you want. Where you're like, oh, I'm a sign like. I got a 3-and-D player, and I'm signing a 3-and-D player. That's the epitome of what you want. Last game, 8 of 13 from the floor, 8 of 12 from 3. He knows why he's here. I'm gonna play great defense, play outstanding defense.
That thing.
And when I'm behind that line and you hit me, I'm gonna let that thing go. Sign me. We all know why I'm here. That's it, man. But I thought he was playing great. You mentioned the others. Maxi Kleber has been so steady for them off the bench, like so steady. I would talk about Al Horford and stepping out, knocking down a 3 and everything else. Like Maxi's been doing that for his team, man. And you got to give him credit for it, right? You got to give him credit for it. But that series is so fun because, like you said, if you're Dallas, you're just like, yeah, Luka do everything, but everybody else gets going. I'm gonna be real honest. There's nobody on your team one-on-one that could deal with Luka. So. Which is why some nights he goes nuts. And you're just like, all right, make sure nobody else lives.
Exactly.
Cool. But I think the biggest thing I got to take away from it is that Chris Paul's had 2 horrendous back-to-back postseason games. I've never seen somebody do this to him. 6 fouls, 5 points. Chris Paul, since when? 23 minutes. And you saw their turnovers. When you take one of the best point guards who's ever played in this league, you take them off the floor for a long period of time. Like, I know the Suns are really good, man. You're going to feel his loss. They felt it. However, they're in the same boat as the Philly-Miami series where nobody's won an away game yet. So, same thing. Best of 3. Got to love it, right? It's essentially best of 3. As for the one series that's not best of 3, again, Golden State stole a game yesterday. I felt bad for Memphis. I know Memphis without Ja has a great record. And, I saw a lot of people citing that and repeating it last night. But the thing is, they kind of trade, like, the trade-off is this. You get better defensively because Ja's not a good defensive player, which is great. Trade-off, however, is when you get in trouble, there is no one to go get you a bucket. And you just end up you end up down bad. 3 quarters, you checked every freaking box you could. You had Golden State in a bad, bad place. They scored more points in the fourth quarter than they did in the first half. You held them to 38 points in a half. Golden State Warriors. They were 0 of 15 from 3 at one point. You slowed the pace. You muddied the game up. You did everything.
Still.
And then they went nuts in the fourth because if you let them hang around long enough, that's what happens. And what we talk about all the time is cliche, but that's part of being a young team.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you said, you essentially said, show me proof, like show me the body. Let me know that Golden State's done. Like put the tag on the toe, let me know it's real. And as they got into the fourth quarter, I was just like, this game's getting tight. I think the Grizz are gonna start getting tight. And it kept going and going. I'm like, all right, now then when Steph hit like a contested three, I'm like, here we go. He only needs to see one go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think like the unsung hero of that team so far for Golden State has been Andrew Wiggins. Doesn't get any credit for what he's out there doing. You saw, I don't know what Taylor Jenkins is on. I don't know why with Jordan Poole on the court at times, he decided Andrew Wiggins is the guy that we want to attack. Bless your heart. They attacked him late in the game. Wiggins got stops. Surprise. 17 points, 10 rebounds. And him getting those 10 rebounds goes a long way. Memphis, how are you getting out rebounded by a team without a big? Kevon Looney's a long big, and he's 6'9", 220. Like he's a big by convenience. Like if injuries didn't rob him, he came in the league as like a whole stretchy, bouncy 4 thing. And then injuries were like, you're a 5. You got Jared Jackson Jr. You got Steven Adams, and you losing on the glass. You're one of the best rebounding teams in basketball. You checked all them boxes, and a couple boxes you just left unchecked, and it hurt. Hurt you deep. Like, I mean, really, really hurt you deep. That's it. We'll see how things go. The series isn't over. But we're going to take our first break when we get back. We're going to check in with Cardell, talk about some Mystics. They took on the Aces tonight. Let's see what the Aces says, following the conclusion of that game. You're watching the Focus TV. We will return very shortly. Want to thank Cardell for that. The Mystics got another game later this week. It'll be another home game at the ESA. If you guys are able to make it out, please do so. If you are able to make it out, look for us. We're there somewhere. Enjoy those games. I like being back at the ESA. So happy that WNBA is back as well. It's getting off to a good start. That said, some quick DC United news because I have to provide an update for you guys. Otherwise, it's kind of a weekly thing. It's something that we do here. On a rainy, cold Saturday evening, the Black and Red beat visiting Houston Dynamo FC 2-0. The visitors had an opportunity to score the game's first goal in the 24th minute on a shot taken by Darwin Quintero. However, Steve Birnbaum is where a good defender is always supposed to be in case the keeper is not in position. He was there to clear the shot off the line. Taxi found us. I've been telling y'all about Taxi. That boy Magic, and his magic continues to spread. He's still running around Audi Field, cheesing like Steph at Oracle. Or anytime you see when Steph has it going, there's nothing but shimmying and laughing and giggling. That's Taxi on a permanent, a permanent smile on that man's face. Just permanent. And I guess if I was that nice, I'd be smiling too. He had another big outing. He recorded a brace on the evening. He scored his first goal in the 35th minute off a very nice corner kick taken by Julian Gressel. Gressel delivered a beautiful outswinger to the top of the box, and Taxi showing off his class, his touch in this moment. He met it with a very deft touch that lifted it up and then into the goal. Just felt like it just dropped right into the goal, and the keeper never moved. I don't think the keeper thought that was going to happen, especially in those conditions. The degree of difficulty was extremely high. Pure quality on that touch from Taxi. He would score again in the 43rd minute. Brad Smith got the ball on the left flank, played it into the box. To Fountas, his first touch was a little too heavy, so he had to wrestle the ball away from a defender. Right after that, man, one dribble and fired a rocket past the keeper at the near post to give the home side a 2-0 lead. Bill and Meade had to leave the game due to an ankle injury. He injured his ankle near the end of the first half, and then he came out for good in the 49th minute, so wishing him a speedy recovery. Rafael Romo had to come on for Hamid in his place. He was making his first MLS appearance, and he was able to complete the shutout. So shout out to Rafael Romo for doing just that. For Taxi became the 7th player in MLS history to record 2 two multi-score games in their first four MLS appearances. Hell of a start. Just whole lot of words to say one heck of a start to his career, man. And can't be mad at that at all, right? Like that's what you're out there for. You're a designated player. That's what they paid you to come out here and do. And he's holding up his part. Tonight, DC United is currently in a round of 32 match of the U.S. Open Cup. They're taking on rivals New York Red Bulls. Give me a second. I'm gonna try to find a quick update to the score for you guys on that. If you bear with me, I know they are in the second half. That's all I know off the top of my head. I'm over here watching like 15 things all at once. I'm sorry. So it is halftime, and the New York Red Bulls are leading 1-0. So DC United, got a whole half, got an opportunity to try to get back to advance in the U.S. Open Cup. We are going to take our second break. When we get back, we got some rapid fire because, just like DC United, NBA playoffs, WNBA, it's things that we talk about each and every week, and that's what we're going to be doing. You're watching the Focus TV. We will return shortly. Welcome back to the Focus TV. All right, Octavia, your favorite part of the night. Got rapid fire. Obviously, gotta step in for Cardell. Do not have Cardell level questions at my disposal, but there are some things we're going to talk about. All right, so I have to bring this up because the public discourse has burnt me out. I've closed my app 11 times over the past couple of days after the MVP was announced this year. Y'all need some help. People are doing the absolute most with this at the moment. Thoughts on Nikola Jokic winning the MVP? It's his back-to-back MVP. It's his second MVP, which makes him a multi-time winner, a back-to-back winner, one of the few centers to have done so. That said, one of the popular narratives at this moment is that, we got the eye test and we got the analytics. Analytics always happen to be the bad people, but this is interesting in this case because of the eye test, because it exists. People are blaming his MVP award on analytics over Joel Embiid off analytics. The floor is yours. Your thought on that?
I don't understand it. I mean, I somewhat understand it. I do believe that it was probably a close race with Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. I think what people are forgetting is that this is a regular season award and it's not a playoff award because everybody's like, well, I mean, they lost in the first round and Joel got okay, that's great. But let's also not forget that Nikola Jokic did this by himself the entire year. With no Jamal Murray, no Michael Porter Jr., and the other injuries that they sustained this year. I mean, he became the first player in the NBA history with 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in one season. One. Like, I mean, I don't understand how you guys can just, I mean, I understand the healthy debate about playing styles because I feel like everybody who is debating it just depends on the type of style of player you like. Some people like the Joel Embiid of it, the dunking, the yelling, the screaming, the aggressiveness. And some people like, the passing ability of Jokic, the intangibles of Jokic, the finesse of Jokic. So I think that that's partially where some of the discord is coming from. I partially think some of it is also is race. I'm just going to say it. I think a lot of
we
people.
try to tell the truth here. It is
I mean,
it
is. I think a lot of us is like, he a brother, so the brother deserve to win. And I think that is unfair a lot of times because we don't want that type of treatment done to us. In the reverse of that, So I think whoever is suited to win the game, to win the situation, is what it is. I mean, I personally prefer Jokic to Joel. That's not to say that Joel's not a great player, but I mean, Nikola, I don't think if he missed a game this year, it might have been 1 or 2 or something like that. He's always available. He's like you see right here, average 31 points, 13 rebounds, 7.9 assists, a block.
My fault. I had to change it to a regular season for a minute.
I'm sorry. Also,
No, I
regular
got you.
season,
Yeah, give me
27,
a second.
27.1 points per game, 13.8, rounded to 14 rebounds, 8 assists a game. Like, and that's what I'm just saying, like, not to say that Joel didn't do it. They play different roles for their team. You know, like Jokic does have to do more because he's had less out there to work with this season. But he did that and still got them to the playoffs. Let's talk about that. They still got to the playoffs because there's another team that's in the West that had a lot of injuries and had a lot of old people that could not get dragged to the playoffs. And Nikola did that on him. I hate to say on his own. It's a team sport, yes, but he took majority of the weight to get them there. So I'm perfectly fine with Nikola being the MVP. I would have been fine if Joel won it as well. To be completely honest, I think they both had great seasons. I just think that there's a difference in what people are looking at, and to use analytics as a cop out is whack and it's weak. Like, don't do that, because was it analytics last year when he won too? Because obviously that means he has the ability to win this award. So I just think it's a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. The whole numbers thing is crazy because if you love numbers, you want to use it as an excuse. So look, it's not that hard. I hope you guys are able to see this. So you got Joel. We know what the monster numbers he put up. So we had even part time. You know, I could discount Harden. That's fine. I'll discount Harden. He had 2 players averaging 17 points a game, 70 something starts a piece, right? 2 players averaging 17 per, right? Next highest on the Nuggets was 15. And it's not like the ball wasn't moving. It's just what they were able to do. All right. And it's not a knock on anybody. Just is what it is, man. He was literally missing the guys that Denver pays to go get buckets. That's who he's missing. That's
like the ones that make the big money.
yeah. The guys that literally get paid. Jamal Murray does not get paid to do anything else but put that ball in the bucket, put that ball in the basket. Same thing for Michael Porter Jr. It's to the point where they just live with whatever happens on defense. It's cool. We got people to do that, but they legitimately get paid to do that. And you got, again, just you had 2 other people averaging 17 and another person averaging 15. They didn't even have that, man. You got to just call it what it is. It's cool. Joel had an amazing year. I'm happy he got through 68 games. Great year. Dude is playing point guard at the 5 for his team. They were missing consistently. And then he still he led his team in everything. Still had to go there and bang and board, deal with you, gave you work when y'all went head to head, which is why I was about to say, which is why the eye test it's crazy to me, because if you want to say, well, the eye test, I will just simply challenge you. Did you watch Denver games? Did you conveniently ignore the games when they went head to head? Did you ignore the games where he gave other good players the work? Oh, well, he didn't get out the first round against the Warriors. I played the Raptors, and their tallest player was 6'8". None of us are going to mistake anybody on Toronto for Draymond Green, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, or anybody else. All right, like, and again, I wish they kind of like, not to be. I'll go old man yell at cloud for a second. Can we go back to the first round, first game? Give the folks their awards, so we don't got to do this.
I really think that's part of it, is that people are so enamored in the playoffs and forget that this is a regular season award.
Man, they know. That's the worst part. They know.
That's true. Know. That they know, but they choose to ignore.
All right, so like, look. So dude Joel averaged 30, 11, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1.5 blocks. That is amazing, right? That is amazing. The winner averaged 27 points per, right under 14 per game. And he averaged 27, 14, and 8 with 1.5 steals and right under 1 block. I got to let it go. Y'all had about the same number of turnovers per game, One of y'all is running the offense while being the offense. The other one, you just asked to go get a bucket. And there's nothing wrong with that. People are like, oh, well, Joel's a better defender. And that's great. You know what? He's not a better playmaker. So, let this go. If you took all the guards away from Joel Embiid, he's going to put up amazing numbers and they're not making the playoffs.
That's a great point.
Not to be mean, just being honest. Take Maxey, take all the guards away, and you tell me how that works. Because that's what happened to Joker. And he did not come into this year and I like Monty Morris. I like Bones Nyland. Neither one of them was supposed to be playing the roles that they played this year.
Yep.
It's what it is. Even Eric Gordon. They did not bring him there to score on purpose. Michael Porter Jr. is out. Hey, we need you to, do
a little more.
Yeah, do a little bit more. I know what we promised you. I know what we talked about. But we down bad. And again, what I like, they didn't make the play-in. For me, that was enough for me. If they made the play-in, I'd be like, all right, cool. Give the award to Joel. I get it. It is what it is.
A 5.
But they avoided the play-in. So they were a 5 or a 6 or something. So, dude, I can't. I cannot. Y'all got to let it go. All right. You talked about this a little bit earlier. Actually, no, we got to talk about this because they were doing too much. News came out today that Ja Morant will miss the rest of the playoffs with a bone bruise per multiple reports, including a tweet from the Grizzlies PR account, just to help you guys with that. There's multiple reports and the end-all be-all confirmation from the team's actual account of, yeah, we said that. Thoughts on the Grizzlies? 1, thoughts on Ja being out. And then 2, thoughts on the Grizzlies making a big deal about the video with Jordan Poole yanking his knee as if Jordan Poole is the Incredible Hulk. And there's multiple other instances during that game because people love video where you can almost point to how Ja injured his knee. Also, he was injured to begin with, right? 2, I was talking to one of my guys, and this is where I'm at on Memphis. I was riding with y'all going into the playoffs. I like the whole come in your trap, take over your trap. I love the energy. I really did. Y'all lost me. I'm out on y'all. I cannot take you seriously anymore. You're very unserious with the energy you have presented during this series. Hey, they're hitting me. Hey, that's not fair. Well, Draymond did that. Oh, and then the coach, Taylor Jenkins. I think I picked you like my coach of the year last year. I was riding with you too, man. You lost me. I'm sick of your curiosity. I would like you to be curious as to what you call down the stretch of games. That's what we need to be more curious about. Y'all can't be bullies and then cry about being bullied.
Yeah.
That's what does it for me, right? Especially as Draymond said, I think after one of the early games, Golden State's the soft team, universally soft team. You can't let the soft team come in your trap and take over said trap. You can't let that happen. You cannot moan, whine, acknowledge calls that you did not get when you're we're the Grizzlies, young, tough, great and bright, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear all that stuff, man. But my bad. I'm supposed to be asking you, but it's been upsetting me since I was typing.
No, you're right,
so I'm
though.
sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, you're right. I mean, you can't say we run up the chimney and want all the smoke, and then when the smoke come, you need an oxygen mask.
It's not just a minute, right?
No,
you can't be hitting the life alert button when you ask for.
You asked for the smoke, now you want an oxygen mask. What? So no, I mean, I definitely get it. I do attribute most of it to them being young, and just they feel like they're disrespected or whatever you want to say. So I get their energy and where it comes from, but you can't be gritting in on people's logo in one series, and now, I mean, he pulled my knee. Like you said, is he the Incredible Hulk where he just happened to pull your whole bone out, bruise it, and put it back into half a second? I don't understand.
Or did you bang your knee with one of the world's most horrific closeouts on Klay Thompson, where you clearly need him in the thigh, and you went flying by and he got a clean shot?
Yeah, that happened too, but they won't acknowledge that. I honestly think it is a tit for tat type of situation that's going on. I personally I didn't like the comments that Steve Kerr did. He's been real extra with the whole this is a dirty player type situation. Mm-hmm. Come on, bro. I personally don't feel like you can call anybody a dirty player unless they've proven it to you on multiple occasions. I give them the benefit of the doubt, unless I've seen it multiple times. Grayson Allen, like, okay, if Grayson Allen does something, he probably really did it. You know what I mean? I mean, and the fact that Draymond Green even acknowledges that that's probably the reputation he has as well. He acknowledges that. Boogie Cousins, like there are people that you can do that with, but for who did he was talking about Desmond Dylan Brooks with the foul. Granted, it was unnecessary, but you understood where it came from. In my eyes, it's like, bro, this dude always be dunking on us. I'm about tired of this mess. I gotta get him up out of here. And so I don't think it was malicious intent. And I mean, I think he probably was actually going for the ball. It just ended the way that it did. But I think that situation started the whole situation. I mean, if you talk about the tweet with Josh saying broke the code when they show it in slow motion of Jordan Poole grazing his knee. And then also, like you said, I mean, he's been out on 3 separate occasions this year for knee injuries alone. And this is the second one with his right knee. And I mean, think about it. Ja Morant be jumping every freaking where. He be jumping over people. He be jumping like, I'm sure his knees do hurt. It has to. And I mean, he's been hitting the ground a lot in this series as well. So I'm not surprised that there is a knee injury. I am, therefore sad that it happened because Ja is one of my favorite players. I love his motor. I love how hard he plays. I just don't like, I don't like the back and forth. If you're going to beat up that person, that team that once saw the smoke and we in the trap and we gritty in and, oh, we about to have some fun, you going back and forth with them. So like if you could dish it out, you could take it.
That's all I'm saying. Is like,
because they didn't like it before, but I mean when they won their game and we're gonna have some fun, yeah, we're gonna do all of that. Like, all right. So I expect it back.
No, I'm with you. And that's all I ask. Just keep the same energy. I don't think I'm asking too much. Just keep the energy consistent. And I'm with you. I get with, like, even with Kerr's comments, I didn't take him too much, like too bad. I felt like he was going out his way to protect a player who's not a star player on his team.
That's true.
So like that's how I took it. And I don't think Brooks is dirty, like for like how I think about like Grayson Allen, right? But he needs to clean his act up like a little bit. Like that's not going to help because we're talking about reputation, whatever. That right there, boy, you got like a year or two of being a perfect citizen.
Right. I was like, that's like the start. That's the start. Yeah.
That foul right there was like 5 steps down that road. Like you officially earned 1 strike off that. Because it's the first thing any ref's going to think about. I remember last year when you took GP out for no reason, you couldn't get to it. Took my man out for the year. You did that. That was you, So, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I can't take them. I don't like their energy. We live in an NIL world on the collegiate level, and we've heard so many thoughts from folks in favor and not in favor. At the ACC's annual spring meetings, Notre Dame basketball head coach Mike Bray said, quote, "Coaches have got to stop complaining. This is the world we're in. And the last time I checked, we make pretty good money. So everybody should shut up and adjust." End quote. Thoughts on Mr. Bray, Coach Bray's statement? Sorry.
And that's one period. Exactly. I like drop the mic after that because I don't understand the issue. Y'all are making bread coaching these players. Like a lot. And like you said, we're in a new age where I hate to say it, and I don't mean it in this way, but an education doesn't get you as far as it used to all the time. There are a lot of people who are doing very well for themselves that did not go to a 4-year institution. So to sit here and say, oh, getting a degree is your payment for this, it's not the same anymore. Like, it's not. I have family things that I need to. I mean, inflation is a thing. Gas is going crazy.
People, real right
let's keep it 100. And these players are like, then you want me to stay longer at your university to bring in more revenue when I could leave and possibly try my hand at getting to the league or going overseas or doing all of these other things so I can support my family and things that I need for myself. So like he said, just especially, I mean, the coaches at least. I mean, granted, anybody that's in the NCAA realm and you get paid by them, like you're making money, like stop it. So, and the the universities, the athletic directors, like all of y'all are making money. Let these kids get the money that they deserve. Now, granted, I do think that they need to have some programs to help these kids use the money that they get appropriately in case they are not using it appropriately. Now, granted, I can't tell a grown, if you're over 18, you are considered grown. I can't tell a grown person what to and what not to do with their money. That is the thing. But I hope that there are some type of programs that are at least helping them to know what they should and should not do with their money. Hopefully they have good parents or people in their lives that are helping them if that's the case. But yeah, like he said, just shut up about it. You making your money, let them make theirs. Worry about what's in your pockets. Stop counting other people's money. I learned that the other day. Don't count nobody else's pockets. Count your own.
It's that simple. And I support him for that, honestly. Like I truly do. Because the other thing I took from that also, right? To not be like the cynical person here. What I also took from that was Notre Dame about to start paying up. So when you start seeing Notre Dame, the NIL numbers start popping up down in South Bend. You know why? That's all I'm saying. I think he was trying to tell y'all. Y'all shut up and complain. Y'all shut up and be quiet. That's on y'all. We about to go. We about to spend that money. Yep. But nah, like you said, you've been well compensated for a while. They're going through it. We've heard over time, as the years have gone on, how people fantasize the collegiate athlete lifestyle. Mm-hmm. They like really fantasize it like a lot and make it, gloss over, I don't know, the realities of it. It's like having an actual job, only you're not allowed to go outside and get an actual job.
Yes.
Which you're saying it's amateur status, but I can't go make money on my own. Mm-hmm. You got to pick one. So it's like, tell me the truth. Is it a job or is it not a job? And if it's not a job, I should be able to get internships and what have you. Money should be able to exchange hands freely like any other student. Hey, coach, I need 20. It is what it is. But you said that's not it. And that's cool. That's great. But if the rules are opening up and exchanging, people got to, if you don't like it, just retire. Like, honestly, again, could go old man yelling at cloud, but it doesn't matter. That's where they're going right now. And you see what universities have started to do already. This, like some of the smart ones, and they got whole NIL branches of the university ready to go. Like, oh, that's not going to stop. And other ones are kind of like, oh, now we got a chance to get some bread. Like not bread. I'm sorry. Now we got a chance to get recruits we had no chance of getting before.
Right.
Like some of them just like, we could bang with the Kentuckys and stuff for the world now. Let's go. Power 5, what? The businesses around our school. Oh, booster game, strong.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is, man. I gotta let it go. It's like anything else. Teams just start getting used to it or whatever as time goes on. But shout out to Coach Bray, man. Like I believe that's the take you should take. It's here. It's inevitable. We're here now. It's not going backwards. All right. You can't put it back in the bottle. So we're here. Just accept it. I guess one little quick one for you I had. I don't want to comment on it, but the Giants released 28, soon to be 29-year-old corner James Bradberry this week. I know we were talking leading up to the draft. They were trying to trade him or whatnot. They weren't able to trade him. They signed him 2020 offseason, so he didn't even make it 3 years of his 3-year, $45 million deal there. Gotta love NFL contracts that he had out after year 2. 15 interceptions, 82 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, 3 sacks in his career, and why I let him go. What do you think his market looks like? Or do you think it's going to be a big market or not so much, considering, a lot of teams just went crazy in the draft getting corners. And I mean, we saw how long it took for Honey Badger to get signed.
Yeah, and that's about because I want a Honey Badger, even though this is, of course, wishful thinking.
You have enough.
Well, my secondary is horrible, which is why as soon as I typed in James Bradberry, the first thing I see is the Philadelphia Eagles can now officially go after James Bradberry. So, I mean, I think he'll have a market. I think he'll have to get a prove it deal. I don't think he's going to get anything close to what he probably wants. But he's definitely he'll go somewhere and maybe get a 1-year deal and prove it and see if he does well enough in that situation where they can, parlay that into something long-term. I mean, it's kind of telling when you can't find a trade partner, but most of the times we don't pay that.
I mean, that's the other thing, honestly, too, is it's the NFL. Some teams ain't about to spend money unless they have to.
Exactly.
There's
I
other
mean,
players going through that
I
too,
mean,
like
Baker still ain't nowhere. So
Baker, James, like teams. Oh man, okay, I got to here. I'll trade for him. But if I don't have to, I mean,
I waited out. Let me know when
look,
you cut
look,
him.
look. I don't think he's going. I don't think you about to pay him 25 mil as a backup come week 1. I'm gonna wait patiently. Our offense ain't that hard to learn. Sign somebody who wanted a veteran quarterback. So I mean, we will see. I want to thank you for spending time with us this week. Again, man, we should be in the conference finals next week.
Oh
In
Jesus!
the NBA playoffs. Let that sink in.
It's
Another
moving so
week of DC
fast.
United. It is flying by. Like honestly, we got rookie mini camps already starting. So like, yeah.
I cannot
Look,
wait.
you're saying, hey, look, we're gonna look up, and next thing you know, your segment's gonna be back.
I'm gonna have on all my Eagles attire. I've been trying to spare y'all for a little while, you know.
Look, you know what I was talking about things being inevitable? I already accepted it. It's cool. You're just gonna see me do this a whole lot more during the season. Okay? When I've had enough, if I feel like it's too much. It's not always because I want a sip of water. But you guys watching the Focus TV, as a reminder, you guys already know what to do. Every Wednesday, it drops on our Roku channel. If you got a Roku television device, all you have to do is type in the Focus TV in the search box. Hit enter or OK on your remote, and then add channel. It's that simple. This weekly show goes there. Mystics, Wizards Outlook, things of that nature. NFL wrap-up show we'll get to at some point. We're gonna get back to that in a little bit because we're not about to record a show just talk about minicamp, man. We're not there. And then obviously Friday nights, 10 p.m. DCTV. If you live outside the city, all you got to do is go to dctv.org. You can watch the show there streaming, or you can also find out when the show re-airs throughout the week and again on dctv.org. Head over to thefocustv.com. Whole lot of letters right now. This is the end of everything I got right now. Whole lot of letters. Get over to focustv.com. We got our morning shows, whole lot of other stuff going on each and every week. We'll see you guys next week. For Octavia and myself, y'all have a great one.